It's time to open February Super Yum Box. I'm excited to see where we get to go this month. Ooh, we are going to France this month. So if you haven't seen them before, every one of these boxes has an information card that has some neat little facts on there and a lovely scorecard on the back. We also, of course, have our cheat sheet that's going to tell us all about our wonderful yums. And I don't know if I've really showed them before, but they do also come with cute little stickers each month too. Focus. Focus. Why do you not want to focus? There you go. Good lands. And it's just all kinds of crazy. Why is my autofocus not happening? What's happening today? What is happening? Okay, maybe now it'll work. Ooh, I see a lot of savory stuff. I'm excited. So I keep getting caught up in a bunch of things lately, so I'm filming this later than I wanted to, than I would have intended. And so I'm slightly pressed for time, at least compared to how long it usually takes me to film these, just because there's so many things to go through. So, yeah, we'll see how quick I can do this while still being thorough. You know, talking quickly and concisely has never really been my forte. So we're starting off with the Pure Butter Sables, the butter biscuits that have made the French swoon since 1888.
Freeze! Before you try this famous French shortbread, you should know the main ingredient is sand. We know. Let us explain. Sables are centuries-old cookies made by rubbing cold butter into flour and sugar to form tiny particles of dough. Given the dough's striking resemblance to sand, these golden breadcrumbs came to be called sable, the French word for sand. So yes, these delicate cookies are made with sand, but not the beaches of the French Riviera kind, the very buttery and very edible kind. Now, if you're wondering if it's time to try them for yourself, the answer is yes.
Oh, so they're basically sand cookies then. Let's try. That's really good. It tastes like a butter cookie. Basically, like, you know, when you get the blue tins of cookies, usually at Christmas time, at least around here. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like a thinner, somewhat crispier version of that, but it has the same kind of flavor. It's just a butter cookie. That's really nice. I like that. This is the goat cheese and Espelette chili potato chips. Cheesy chips with a hint of heat.
Would you believe us if we said these chips double as Christmas decorations? Long before the poinsettia became synonymous with holiday spirit, French homes would be decorated with bright green, red, and yellow peppers. While the edible decorations went out of style in the 1900s, folks in France's Basque region still go out of their way to celebrate the Espelette pepper by way of food, festivals, and yes, decorations. But let's not forget our favorite way to celebrate this super smoky pepper is this delightfully savory potato chip.
I'm not super good with spice and heat, so hopefully it is just a little bit of heat and not super spicy. Let's see. I do think those flavors actually go really well together. I'm not as familiar with goat cheese. I only just recently started having goat cheese with things. And it has a very specific kind of taste, which I do enjoy. But I've never had it on a potato chip before. That's quite good. And it isn't super spicy. It is just a little bit of heat, so just very little. That is definitely different, and I don't know if that would be my go-to snack, but I do like it, and I would definitely like to snack on that from time to time. I'm gonna like this one. Next, we have Strawberry Chews. Sweet, chewy, with a touch of tartness.
Love strawberries? You have France to thank. French royals were the first to farm the fruit back in 14th century, with King Charles V boasting 1,200 strawberry plants in his garden. Then, in late 18th century, it was also France that crossbred two New World strains, the Virginia strawberry and the Chilean white strawberry, to create the modern strawberry the whole world knows and loves today. But don't say merci just yet. We've got one more French strawberry innovation to be thankful for. This yum. This sweet, chewy, and positively delightful strawberry is truly the pinnacle of progress.
I do love me some strawberry candies. Oh, that's hard. I thought it would be super chewy. It has a decently hard texture, but I thought it would give real easy and be really chewy. Oh, that's hard. Chew shouldn't be this hard. It tastes really good. It has great strawberry flavor. Ooh, it's just hard to chew. Okay, I finally got it soft enough to be an actual chew now. But ooh, do I have to work my jaws to do that. It tastes great. And eventually it became chewy. But it was so hard at first. It took a lot of like strong chews, several strong chews, to get it soft, to be able to legitimately like chew on. Oh, that was an adventure. Raspberry roll cake. Cake roll with raspberry filling.
Stop! Before you bite into this cake, smell it. Just like juicy raspberries, right? While you might consider anything resembling cake firmly in the dessert category, this particular confection is a little bit different once you get to France. Fluffy raspberry roll cake like this is typically eaten not as dessert, but for breakfast. And to that, we say stop and think about serving this cake for tomorrow morning instead. Or just ignore tradition and eat it now, because really, how could anyone resist?
I love me some raspberry. I mean, it doesn't smell just like raspberries. It smells like a raspberry cake. But it still smells good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is delicious. The cake is really light and fluffy, and that raspberry filling has a good, strong, tart raspberry flavor without being overpowering. It matches really it matches really well with the vanilla cake. That is delicious. I like that. Next, we have chocolate chip cookie truffles, decadent dark chocolate with cookie pieces.
When Marie Antoinette married Louis XVI in 1770, she moved her entire life from Vienna to the Palace of Versailles, including her professional chocolate maker, who was given the new title Chocolate Maker to the Queen. Knowing this, it might not be surprising that Marie was famous for having sweets first thing in the morning, with breakfast featuring cups of rich hot chocolate and tons of cookies. We're not saying you should eat these melt-in-your-mouth truffles for breakfast, but we're also not saying that.
I like me some truffles. Not crazy about dark chocolate, though. So, we'll see. There's definitely cookie pieces. It's very nice and creamy. As far as dark chocolates go, it definitely tastes like a dark chocolate. But I don't know if it's because of the cookie or just the way it's made. But it doesn't have a really strong, bitter bite that some dark chocolate does. It definitely has a little bit more creaminess. So that's not bad at all. Next, we have the Fleur de Sel caramels. France's famous Fleur de Sel meets buttery sweetness.
Salted caramel is so popular, you might think it's been around forever. But in reality, humans figured out space travel before they figured out this new iconic flavor. It was only in 1977 that confectioner Henri Leroux debuted the first salted caramel, made with Brittany's famous sea salted butter. By 1980, it was voted the country's best candy, and by 2008, it had gone global, with Haagen-Dazs and Starbucks debuting salted caramel products. With this yum, you'll understand why the French flavor had stuck around, quite literally.
I do love me some salted caramel. Oh, it's so sticky. I should have just taken a small piece and not the whole thing. I need to brush my teeth after this. That's pretty good, though. I mean, it's coating my teeth in a way that would make my dentist cry. But it is delicious. Still a really nice, creamy caramel taste. And that salt with it. It's really good. I like it. Alright, next yum. We have the popcorn truffles. Decadent French chocolate with bits of tasty popcorn. Okay.
According to legend, this yum came about by accident. In 1920s Paris, confectioner Auguste Escoffier was making a pastry cream when he accidentally poured hot cream into the wrong bowl, a bowl filled with chocolates. Rather than bidding the melty chocolate adieu, he experimented. He rolled the paste ganache into balls and coated them in cocoa powder. The result? A luxurious chocolate ball that looks a whole lot like France's mushroom truffles, hence the name. We can't think of a more decadent accident.
I do like truffles. And you know, honestly, that might be why the dark chocolate truffles are a little better for me and not quite as bitter, because they're truffles, right? So they have that cream mixed in with them to make them truffles. So that's probably why they're a little bit better. My goodness. This just does not want to open. Okay. I got it. We're good. We're good. I got it. Popcorn truffle. Let's see. Yep. That's popcorn and a truffle. It tastes like a chocolate truffle. And it also does definitely taste like popcorn. You can absolutely, as soon as you start chewing it, taste that popcorn flavor from those bits in there. And it's a little weird, but it works. Speaking of weird, cheesy spinach and garlic bagel bites. Crunchy, earthy, with a garlicky zing.
How can you govern a country which has 246 varieties of cheese? These words were famously spoken by France's former president Charles de Gaulle, who served from 1958 to 1962. And France's cheese obsession has only grown since then. Today, there are a whopping 1,600 varieties, from soft, creamy Camembert to tangy Roquefort to Crasé Merzu, sorry for pronunciation, a Corsican cheese infamous for containing live worms. You can see why locals eat 60 pounds of cheese per year, unless you're still caught up on the worm thing. But don't worry, there are no worms to be found in these crunchy bagel bites, just a lot of cheesy flavor.
I do like spinach. Love me some cheese. I'm a garlic fan. I mean, sounds like an interesting adventure. Let's see. It definitely has that crispy bread texture and flavor going on, almost reminiscent of croutons. Hey look, surprise kitty. But you definitely do get those other flavors in there too. Honestly, I think the flavor of the bread comes through strongest of all. But that being said, it's still pretty good. I quite like those. Next, we have the 47% dark chocolate with sea salt. Smooth cocoa flecked with French fleur de sel.
Flowers on B-Day? Overrated. But fleur de sel? Swoon. Fleur de sel is the so-called caviar of sea salt, formed when seawater evaporates and leaves behind delicate salt flowers. Trained workers, called paludiers, use special wooden rakes called luce à fleurs to collect them. Since even the most productive salt marshes only produce 2 pounds per day, the process is slow and expensive, but worth it. Since mineral-rich fleur de sel is longer lasting and saltier than ordinary salts. When blended with decadent dark chocolate, it makes for a chocolate experience unlike any other, as you're about to find out. Best flowers ever.
Alright, well, I mean, it's still dark chocolate. But we'll see how this goes. It is definitely a very big bar. Trying to be all neat and delicate about this instead of just ripping it open. Forget it, we're ripping. Rip! Let's see. I don't particularly like this one. But I can recognize that it is a good one if you like dark chocolate. It's too much for me. That one's not for me, per se. Yeah, that one's not for me. Next is the garlic aioli potato chips. Garlic lovers plus this yum equals the perfect relationship.
If it's a special occasion in Provence, you'll surely smell one thing: garlic. Lots and lots of garlic. That's because everyone will be eating aioli, the local garlic and oil dip. It's ordinarily reserved for Fridays, when it's served with boiled vegetables like green beans, carrots, and potatoes. When Ash Wednesday comes around, aioli is served with poached cod, and on Christmas Eve, it's snails that typically get dipping. Your invitation to Provence's pungent tradition? These rich potato chips, which taste just like the real thing, but with no dipping required. Yes, you will get garlic breath, and yes, it will be worth it.
I like me some garlic. Bring it on. Woo! Yep, I can already smell it. That is garlic. I mean, that's exactly what it says it is. It's just a garlic flavored potato chip. It's not insanely strong. We had one a few boxes back that was really, really strong. It almost had a slight burn to it. This one is definitely not that strong. But you do definitely taste that garlic flavor along with that potato chippiness. That's pretty good. I like that. It's cherry. I'm usually not a huge cherry fan. Sour cherry hard candies. Taste the Céret Cherry Festival.
Our next stop is on the southern edge of France, to a town called Céret. You may not have heard of it before, but any French person will tell you that the best cherries come from there. In fact, the fruit is so prized that every year since 1932, the first crate is sent directly to the President of France. Intrigued? Then you'll also want to get there in time for the annual Cherry Festival, where locals eat cherry-themed foods, play traditional bandas music, and hold the ever-popular cherry pit spitting competition. You can get in on the fun yourself with these sour cherry candies, but be warned, before you go to the sweet center, you'll need to get through some seriously sour sugar crystals. Good luck.
Well, thank you for that. Because I'm not crazy about cherry, usually. And at least for the longest time, I thought I wasn't really a sour candy person either. But some of the sour candies we've had in these boxes, they come across more tart to me than sour. And they've been pretty nice. So I'm curious about this one. Ooh, that's sour. Yep, no, that's legit sour. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, I thought that was. Oh. Oh, it's even worse. My eyes are watering. think it's going to it. I think it's starting to get sweeter. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's sweet now. Oh my goodness. And it tastes like medicine. Now, if you like cherry flavored things, it does have a bright cherry flavor, but to me, it makes me think of all the cherry flavored medicine I had to take as a kid. I was sick a lot. We've got the honey mustard potato chips, France's famous mustard with a touch of sweetness.
If there's one thing the French know how to do, it's take a simple ingredient, let's say mustard, and make it fancier. A la Dijon mustard. And it's for that very reason that Dijon, France, is the mustard capital of the world. Dijon mustard is different from yellow mustard. It's made with white wine instead of vinegar, and whole black mustard seeds instead of powdered mustard seeds. You'll get a true sense of what makes French mustard different with these sweet and zesty chips inspired by Dijon mustard, with a drop of honey.
Yeah, that's good. The initial taste is that sweet from the honey. And then you start to get the mustard flavor coming in with the honey. Has a little bit of that sharpness, but not too strong. And it's still kept kind of blending with the honey throughout. Overall, that's really nice. I quite like that. Lemon palette cookies. Buttery cookies with a lemony fragrance.
Let's take a moment and say merci to Western France. Because without this region, there's no way this month's box would even exist. Western France has given the world crepes, madeleines, pound cakes, and one of the most famous yums of all, butter palettes. These may look like ordinary shortbread cookies, but they're far from it. Their delicate flavor, crumbly texture, and touch of saltiness make them extra special, and that's all thanks to one delectable ingredient, French butter. It's the pride of Western France, and a staple that's baked into all their signature treats. You'd better believe they're about to be your favorite.
I do like a nice lemon cookie. Now this cookie is thicker than the cookies that we had at the beginning. I'd say probably about twice as thick. So, let's see. It's a really nice lemon flavor that shines all the way through. You do get a little bit of the shortbread cookie flavor in there with it, especially towards the end, but primarily you're just getting a light lemon flavor. It's wonderful. I like that a lot. Next, we have caramel bonbons, chewy candies with a rich caramel flavor.
When you think of the most iconic French sweets, you'll likely imagine rich chocolates, delicate pastries, and gooey caramel, with the last one conveniently being the perfect accompaniment to the first two. From creamy creme caramel to richly decadent salted caramels, this sweet and sticky confection is truly a staple of French cuisine. But what if you want to get your caramel fix without having to deal with the long cooking times and super precise recipes? Reach for a bag of these super chewy caramel bonbons, of course. A sticky situation solved.
I'm just really hoping that these are not as hard as the strawberry, or was it raspberry? I think it was strawberry, as the strawberry bonbons were earlier. Because, oh my goodness, that was so hard. Ooh, I feel like my ears popped. I'm starting to get some caramel flavor. I'll tell you what, between sticky caramels, incredibly sour candy, and bonbons that are trying to be jawbreakers, this box is putting me through it. Now, flavor-wise, it's also pretty good. That does have a really nice caramel flavor to it. It's a bit like a toasted caramel flavor, but honestly, as hard as these are to chew, I don't think I'll be eating a ton of them. I might pass them on to some people who have stronger jaws than I do. Next, we have violet gummies, sweet and floral chewy candies.
Flower-flavored candy? What will they come up with next? But if you think that this is some sort of new culinary innovation, prepare to be surprised. The French have actually been enjoying violet-flavored candies since the 19th century. Back then, the entire flower would be coated in sugar and eaten whole. The candy then evolved over time and is used as a star ingredient in desserts like pastels, macarons, and these delectable floral gummy candies.
I've had teas before that had floral elements to them, but I don't know that I've had a floral candy before. They're very pretty though. It's pretty tart at first. Ooh. Okay. Like right on the cusp of tasting perfumey. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't think I'm gonna go craving these. It's very interesting. Very odd. I'm just not used to that kind of flavor. You know, they may not be bad with chocolate though. Well, that was different. It's drink time. We have Orangina citrus soda, the sparkling citrus sensation from France. There are 3 things you need to know before you take your first sip of Orangina, France's most iconic citrus soft drink since 1936. Firstly, it's beloved. Don't believe us? Talk to the 75-foot-tall, 65-ton replica of an Orangina bottle that was erected in downtown Paris in 1986. Secondly, it's made with real fruit juice, and it has the pulp to prove it. Which brings us to number 3. Shake it before you open it. We know people typically advise against shaking soft drinks, but a gentle shake will evenly distribute the pulp. Emphasis on gentle, or else the showering bottle on the can might become all too real. Okay. Gentle shake. Gentle shake. Let's see. Yeah. It's basically just a citrus soda. It doesn't taste like orange soda. It's not as specific as that. It just overall has just a bright citrusy flavor, a little tart. I will say it tastes more orange than it does any other citrus. But it's not a super strong, super specific orange. It's just a little bit of a lighter orange with a lot of just citrus flavor. It's not my new favorite soda, but that wasn't bad at all. I would drink that if someone had it at their house. And that brings us to our last item, the chestnut spread, a favorite worth celebrating. Ready for a celebration to go nuts? From October through November, hundreds of chestnut festivals are held throughout the country, where the nuts are slow roasted and devoured by the thousands. For hundreds of years, chestnuts were a staple of French cuisine, with many relying on them to survive during hard times. Turns out, they were onto something, as chestnuts are known to aid digestion and boost the immune system. While we can't vouch for any medicinal properties in this sugary chestnut spread, we can promise a delightful, mild, and earthy flavor that's perfect on anything from baguettes to other yums, to the buttery croquettes you can make on page 12. Ooh, croquettes. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, I think we might try to make these later this week. Interesting. It just comes in a nice little tube. You know, I'm not sure that I've ever had chestnuts. I know certain Christmas songs and I'll refer to roasting chestnuts. It's a holiday thing, right? But I don't think I've ever actually had chestnuts. I don't have anything to put it on at the moment, so I'm just going to put some on my finger and taste it. It's a very soft spread. It's not really thick, so be careful. It's a little runny. I think earthy is a good way to describe that. Yeah, it definitely does have that earthy taste, but it's not an incredibly strong, deep earthy taste. It is a little lighter. That is interesting. Now I'm curious what roasted chestnuts taste like. So this one was an interesting box. I quite enjoyed a lot of the yums we had in this box. And there were some, like the dark chocolate ones, that weren't quite my thing. The truffles were okay. That dark chocolate bar was too much for me. But I could still see how a lot of people would really like that one. Those bonbons, man. I feel like my jaws are still tired from trying to chew those. They were so hard. I don't know if they're supposed to be that hard. And man, the cherry candies, I was so not expecting them to be that sour. They were intensely sour. I don't know if I've ever tasted candy that was that sour. It was something. This was an adventure of a box. I did really enjoy a lot of it though, and I certainly had fun trying all of them, even the ones that I may not try again. I might just pass on to some friends who will enjoy them. But I'm still glad that I tasted them. It was a fun adventure this month, that is for sure. But that's all for me for today. I'm gonna pack all this up and then I gotta run. So we're just gonna leave this right there, aren't we? Yes, we are. But I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye. Say bye. Say bye. Bye.